defendants, like Walter McMillan, even in counties that were 40 to 50% black, frequently found themselves being tried by all-white juries. Errol McGahey was tried by an all-white jury in Dallas County, even though the county is 60% African American. This is a quote from Bryan Stevenson's novel, Just Mercy. Bryan Stevenson is a Harvard Law graduate that covers many controversial topics in the social justice system in his book, one of which being jury selection. According to United States law, one will be tried by an assembly jury of their peers. But is this always fair? Let's dive deeper. The practice of a jury dates back thousands of years to ancient Greek times and has developed into what we see today. In the United States, juries are used in all criminal trials and are an important part of due process protected by the Bill of Rights. But in countries like the United Kingdom, Parliament has restricted juries' availability to smaller and lesser criminal cases. But why is this important? Let's dig deeper. In the United Kingdom, juries are reserved for large things, such as murder, and things such as petty theft are left simply to small court judge and court seeings. Although the corruption seen in Just Mercy in Alabama in the 70s and 80s is not really a mainstream topic of today's jury selections, there are still many issues approached in the topic. Let's talk about some. In the book, Just Mercy, we see the discrimination come through the fact that courts prevent black people from standing on jurors, despite what was ruled in the Supreme Court case of Strader v. West Virginia. This relates loosely to modern-day problems we see in jury selection that we will get to momentarily. But these days, we find new challenges with juries, being jury bias, which we try to get around but sometimes fail. Juries not understanding the law. And lastly, juries failing to understand the situation in the case. Essentially, juries are selected by a series of questions. These questions are asked by both sides, primarily to prevent any bias towards one side or another. With that said, when asking these questions, lawyers will often select jurors that they believe will side with them or lean in their favor. How does this create a problem, you might ask? Well, if the jurors are biased towards one side, then it tips the scales in an unfair direction. Another problem at hand comes in the fact that most jurors do not know all of the laws. Did you go to law school? I know I did not go to law school. Lastly, the average person of intermediate intelligence, let's say, may not be able to comprehend the complexity of some cases, depending on the case, of course. This would put the defendant at a disadvantage if their case is too deep to understand, or the jurors do not understand possible mental illnesses that come with it, or should be taken into account in the case. The solution may lie in following our UK counterparts' actions, in limiting juries' cases, or possibly abolishing juries altogether. We could also extend the number of questions we ask them to get a more in-depth look at the jury's opinions in order to better select jurors for cases